when the storm blows in to stay. He's a solid rock I run to when all else gives away. He's a shoulder I lean on when my hope has died. The arms I fall into each time that I cry. And I don't know what trusting Him will look like, what He might ask of my life. I only know how far His love goes. And I don't know what the future holds for me, or where this lonely road will lead. I only know I've never walked alone when life just doesn't make sense. I know who Jesus is. He's the only one with power to wash away my sin, who offers me forgiveness again and again. He picks up the pieces when life falls apart. He is the Redeemer of my shattered heart. And I don't know what trusting Him will look like, what He might ask of my life. I only know how far His love goes. And I don't know what the future holds for me, or where this lonely road will lead. I only know I've never walked alone when life just doesn't make sense. I know who Jesus is. There's a day just out in front of us, I know will surely come, when that eastern sky will open wide, revealing God's dear Son. And I know from here to heaven it's but a twinkling of an eye, and in the midst of all His glory we'll hear the sweetest cry, welcome home. I knew you'd come, welcome home. You're here for good. Look around, was it worth the wait? Welcome home, step through the gate. I believe, at least for me, I'll see my mom and dad, with my brothers and my sisters, and everywhere you look, our friends. Oh, the greetings will be precious from those we've loved so dear, but no mortal man has ever heard the likes of when he hears, welcome home. I knew you'd come, welcome home. You're here for good. Look around, was it worth the wait? Welcome home. step through the gate. When I see the face of Jesus, all my trials seem so small. Every storm was more than worth it for the one who paid it all. When he gives my linen garment and I present him with my crown, the heavens shake with praises lit by his glory all around. Oh, to go home, I couldn't wait to come. One day I'll go and I'll stay for good to look around. It was worth the wait, oh, to be home and behold his face.
Daggum. I got up and everybody left. It's either a good sign or a bad sign. It's been said there are two kind of people in the world, saved and lost. I would say, maybe you can break it down more than this, but I would say there's four kind of people in the world. There are some people in the world that are lost, and they don't care. There's some people in the world, they're lost. They could care less about God. They could care less, about hell if they even know about it. And there's a lot of people in the world like that. They're lost and they're on their way to hell, and you can't tell them no different. Even if you try to, Brother Tom, they just simply, they don't care. They don't want anything to do with God at all. And then there you have another group of people. They're lost, and they think they're okay. You got a lot of people in the world that they are truly lost, but they think that they're okay because they signed a card one time at church, or they said a little prayer that they have no idea what was really going on. They think they're okay because they're trusting water baptism. They think they're okay because they're trusting religion. They think they're okay because they go to church. They think they're okay because they're trusting in themselves. They're trusting in their works to get them to heaven. So they got two different kind of lost people. Just like that, you have two different kind of people that are saved. You have people that are saved, and can I just say, the majority of the people in this room and the majority of the people that are in churches this morning, they fall into this category. They are saved, and that's it. They're just saved. They are saved. And if they were to die, they would meet Jesus. They will live forever with him, and they are saved. They're in no danger of ever going to hell. There are those kind of people, but they are not serving the Lord. They are not living for the Lord. They're distracted by the world. They're distracted by their own desires. They're distracted by the temptation that the devil has out there. And I'm going to be honest with you, most of us are in there. And then you have some people, Brother Dave, they are saved, and they want to do something for the Lord. Can I just say, if you are saved, and again, I'm not, let me say it like this. If you are in fellowship with the Lord, because you can be saved and out of fellowship. If you are in fellowship with the Lord, there is something in you that wants to do something for him. So when we get to that day, and he does welcome us home, that he can say, well done. Well done. There are some people in this world throughout history who have done some great things and have been recognized for it. I'm thankful for electricity. And I can kind of understand how that works. Like I sort of understand currents, and I know enough about it that I don't ever want to deal with it. Listen, maybe you're a bigger man or woman than I am. If I'm touching anything electrical, I'm shutting the whole house down. I'm tempted to cut all of my electricity off just to change a light bulb. Because I know a little bit about it, and I know enough to know that would really hurt. But the guy who invented that was like, dude, thank you. Right? Well, it still amazes me that how telephones work. That I used to be able to stand in the kitchen and talk to this thing, and my words went inside there, traveled to the wall, traveled to outside of the house, traveled to the telephone pole, and then traveled anywhere you wanted to go across the country. And while I'm talking, they can hear me. I'm thinking, thank God for that wire. I don't know what, like I understand electricity that it goes through that, but my words are going through. Like, that's a special wire. And bless God, then they cut the wire. And then it's like, hold on, I'm talking into this thing, and you're hearing me through yours, and there ain't no wires. Like, have you ever wondered what? Even what? How does? I don't understand Wi-Fi. How's all these waves traveling? Y'all know why there's so much cancer? we won't go there. But there's been some great inventions. It's like, man, like Dubai chocolate. Whoever come up with that I just found out this year, Dubai chocolate is unbelievable. Somebody pick some up and bring it tonight, and I'll show you how much I like it. There have been some men who've done some great things, invented some great things. Whoever the men are now, and I guess women, I don't know, but they've climbed Mount Everest. And it's like, I can't even go on a hike. You know what I mean? Like, I'm tired. Just thinking about going down a trail, what am I going to feel like at the end of it? And there have been men who climbed to the highest peak. And then there's men who thought, that ain't nothing. I'm going to land on the moon. You know? If that ever happened. You know? Did it happen? I don't know if it did or not. But they at least went out into the desert and filmed it. You know what I mean? Like, man, but there's just some things throughout history you think, man, you've done something. You've really done. That's a great thing. That's a great accomplishment. We look in the Bible. There's some things, some men and women in the Bible that you look at and you think, my goodness gracious. Imagine, out of all the people on the earth, God looking down. He's looking down to all these people, and God having such you've done enough in God's eye that he looks down and sees a man called Enoch and just thinks, you know what, I'm just gonna scoop you up and take you for myself. I mean, my goodness, what a life he must have lived. What about God looking to destroy the whole earth? He's like, I'm going to destroy it all. I'm done with it. I'm completely done with it. But then there's one guy by the name of Noah found grace in the eyes of the Lord. One. Something nobody else done, something nobody else has ever done. You look down and thought, wow. You read a few more chapters, you find out after that mess with the Tower of Babel there in Genesis chapter number 11, God decides, okay, I'm going to pick one man out. His name is Abram, would become Abraham. And from this one man, he is going to be the patriarch of the nation of Israel and my chosen people. I'm going to pick that man. Out of all the people, that man. Read over the 1 Samuel. It tells you about a guy named Samuel. And he ends up being a priest. He ends up being, one of the greatest men in the Old Testament. He would later go on to anoint King David, a man after God's own heart. God used him. Out of all the people, you're thinking, what made God choose him? And then King David. We all know the exploits of King David. He killed Goliath when nobody else would even fight him. But David there must have been some great potential in David's life. You go on down to the New Testament, you find that Jesus is sitting over against the wall and he's watching people throw money into the treasury, and he sees a woman do something so great that he stops the whole thing and teaches his disciples about something that she just done. My goodness, that woman must have been just crazy, spectacular, awesome. What? He stopped everything and was like, boys, let me tell you what this woman just done. A couple chapters later, a woman did something so amazing that Jesus Christ said this. Listen, we believe in the gospel. We believe the gospel is we are told to proclaim the gospel to every creature. This woman did something so amazing that Jesus said, wherever the gospel is to be preached, I want this story told. Wow. Can I just say, sometimes I think about the feats of man, and I think about those people in the Bible that God used, I'm talking about in such a mighty way. Let's just be honest. I think, I could never do something like that. I don't have in me what they had. Like, they must have, and it's not necessarily a knock on me and you. It's just, man, they must have had something special. They must have. And if that's the case, don't you think God would want us to know? If these people that God, and there's many more we could look at, if these people did something so great and God used them in such a mighty way, hey, God is no respecter of persons. Does God want to use me and you? Absolutely. He wants us to serve Him. He wants us to do something for Him. So it just makes sense that when God looks down at these people, that He would want us to know something about them that catapulted them into this great work. It has to be in there. Right? I'm just guessing. Like, He's going to give us something from it. Well, let's start in the beginning. Let's look in Genesis chapter 5. This guy this man named Enoch. This guy's so special that God looked down at everybody. Were there other people probably doing right during those days? Probably. Were there people probably doing and serving the Lord and trying to do their best to follow the conscience after Him like they did? Absolutely, probably. But what do we know? What does God tell us about Enoch and these guys and these women? What does He tell us about them? That if we do these things, that maybe, just maybe, God can use me and you. And you're going to find out that God sometimes just looks for the little things. Just the very little basic things in life. What do we know about Enoch before God chose him? What do we know about him? We don't know a whole lot, but Genesis 5 tells us this, verse number 21. And Enoch lived 65 years and begat Methuselah. And Enoch walked with God after he begat Methuselah 300 years and begat sons and daughters. And all the days of Enoch were 365 years. And Enoch walked with God, and he was not, for God took him. You say, what did Enoch do? What great characteristic, what great trait, what great thing did Enoch do for God to look down and say, I am going to scoop you up off of this world, and I'm just going to take you because I just want to be with you. I just want you to be with me. What great thing that he did. Can I tell you what we know, what God has told us about Enoch is he just walked with God. That's it. He didn't build a big church. He wasn't the greatest soul winner that ever lived. He did have a knowledge of some things. But we're not told that he had a great mind. We're not told he was a great thinker. We're not told that he was a great student of the Bible. We're not told he was a great soul winner. We're not told that he was a great preacher even. We're not told that he was a great anything. All we're told about Enoch is he walked with God. That's it. You say, man, I'd like to do something great. I wish the Lord could use me like he did some of them people in the Bible. Well, we got an example here. What did Enoch do? He just walked with God. Everywhere God was, he was. In our day, in our dispensations, he'll never leave us. He'll never forsake us. But I'm glad the Bible put it the way it did, that God didn't walk with Enoch. That Enoch, he walked with God. He didn't walk with the people of the world. He didn't walk with friends. He didn't walk with family. The most important thing that Enoch got up every day, the most important thing in his mind wasn't to do something great. It was, I'm just going to walk with God today. Today, when I get up, I'm just walking with God. That's a pretty good start. You want to do something great? You want God to scoop you up off this earth? You want a special relationship between you and God? I'll tell you a real good start, just start walking with Him. You ever walk beside somebody you never talked to? That's awkward. No. You find yourself, you go walking around a track or do something like that, and you happen to be along with somebody, they get out of the car the same time you do, and you're walking with them, and oh my goodness. You know, eventually, you'll walk long enough, you're going to have some conversations. That's all Enoch did. Every day, he got up and decided, the great thing that I'm going to do today, I'm just going to walk with God. Well, how about Noah? I mean, what was so great about Noah that he found grace in the eyes of the Lord? Like, what was it so great? What does the Bible tell us about Noah that's so wonderful about him that God said, I'll tell you what, that boy right there, everybody else can drown, but I'm going to save that boy And because I'm going to save him, I'm going to save his family with him. What was it? Well, Genesis chapter 5, same chapter, verse number 9, or 29, says, and he called his name Noah, saying, this same shall comfort us concerning our work and toil of our hands, because of the ground which the Lord hath cursed. You say, what is that? Hey, not a whole lot. What do we know about Noah? He comforted his family. He brought a comfort to somebody. Literally, that's all we know about Noah. What great characteristic did Noah have that God looked down and said, oh yeah, man, I'm going to really use you. It's going to be the biggest building project that man has ever seen. You're going to build something that nobody even knows about. It's going to do something that's never been done. And Noah, you're the one I'm going to use. What was it about Noah that made him so special? He just comforted people. That's it. Well, it had to be more than that. I truly believe if it was more than that, the Bible would let us know. He just comforted people. They said, this boy's going to bring us comfort. We talked about kind of different kind of people in the world. There's another group of people. There's those that comfort people and those that discomfort people. Which one are you? How are you spending your life every day of your life, when you get up and you go throughout your day, are you being a comfort to someone, or are you being a discomfort to them? It's got to be more than that. Not for Noah. He was just bringing comfort. Trying to bring some peace to somebody's life. I bet Noah was the type of person when he was young, growing up. Young back then was like 200-300. I bet Noah was the type of person that when Noah left a conversation, that person he was talking to felt better about themselves instead of worse. I bet when Noah left a group of people, they all felt better about what was going on instead of. I bet you Noah didn't spend a whole lot of time. Y'all ain't gonna believe what happened to me today. I bet Noah wasn't one of these ones that was scared to ask him what was wrong because he was afraid he might tell him. I bet you they wasn't worried about Noah being a downer. I bet Noah wasn't so, is it pessimistic? I bet he wasn't a pessimistic person that always seen the bad in people and always seen the bad in things. What great thing did Noah do? How did he find grace in the eyes of the Lord? The only thing the Bible tells us is that his dad looked at him when he was born and said, his boy's going to bring a comfort to us. How about Abraham? Israel's always in the news, right? Look in Genesis chapter 12. Genesis chapter 12, verse number 1, now the Lord God had said unto Abram, get thee out of thy country and from thy kindred and from thy father's house into a land that I will show thee, and I will make thee a great nation. And I will bless thee and make thy name great, and thou shalt be a blessing. I mean, this guy, okay, I understand the first two, right? But this guy started it all. Like this guy, like he is the OG. Is that right? OG? What does that stand for? Is that something bad? Original what? Huh? Original gangsta. Well, Genesis told me I needed to do something, I forgot what it was. I'm not really trying to keep up with the uppity-up young people, but he was, OG's probably not even a real thing now, is it? Oh, it is still? Oh, I'm cool. But this guy, Abram, like he started it all. He started the nation of Israel, and God chose him. Listen, what did Abraham do? Let's look in chapter number 11. We're just going to find out what the Bible tells us about Abraham, that God looked down and said, yep, I'm going to use him. Let's see, verse number 31. The Bible says, and Terah took Abram, that's his dad. Terah took Abram, his son, and Lot, the son of Haran, his son's son, and Sarai, his daughter-in-law, his son Abram's wife. And they went forth with them from Ur of the Chaldees to go to the land of Canaan, and they came into Haran and dwelt there. That's it. That's all. We're not told anything else. I looked in the Hall of Faith where some of these guys were mentioned, and all their great things come after God called them. But I want to know, what did he do to cause God to call him? And all that I can find is that he led his family and he followed his dad. That's it. All Abraham done for God to look at and say, yep, you're the one, was the simple task of, I'm just going to follow who God placed as the authority in my life. I'm just going to follow him. That's it. Well, he had to have some kind of characteristic trait. He had to have some kind of, like he had to do something. What did God say about him? Literally, the next chapter starts off with God picking him out and saying, I'm going to make you a great nation. And all that we know is he looked at Abraham and said, you know what? He's leading his wife. And he's following his dad. Can I ask you something? Are you leading whoever you're supposed to be leading? I want to do something great for God. I want to do something so big. Why don't you just start by leading those you're supposed to be leading? Just start right there. And then follow whoever you're supposed to be following. We're not supposed to follow man. That's not biblical. Paul said, follow me as I follow Christ. And it's a little self-serving, Brother Tom, but I am the pastor for now. And if you can't follow me as I follow Christ, then I need to get right with God, or you need to find somebody you can, but we're all to be followed. I have a pastor, and I do my best to follow him. Not lately, but I bug him to death. I was talking to him on the phone a couple months ago about something. Hey, I need advice. He was like, brother, our friendship, it does not matter at all. You can do this or you can do that. It's not going to affect me and you at all. And I told him, brother, you need to know whatever you tell me to do, I'm going to do. He said, well, but I just want to do something more than just that. Abraham would go on to do something amazing. And God looked at him, and the only quality he seen was he leads those he should be leading, and he follows those he should be following. Let's look in Samuel. I mean, this guy, right? This guy has to be. He has, maybe you're sitting here thinking, okay, all right, preacher, like, you're getting ready, like you're leading up to something though, right? Like you're leading up to somebody having something spectacular about them that God used. Like you're bound to give us something that somebody had. I'm going to go ahead and spoil it for you. I'm not. I'm going to go ahead and tell you that everything that we were going to see that God looked at, and He's seen somebody just doing the smallest thing. And they were faithful in the smallest thing. What was it about Samuel that God would say, okay, I'm going to speak to you as a child? You know how the story goes in 1 Samuel 3? Samuel's laying in the bed. And he hears somebody say, Samuel, Samuel. He gets up. He runs, hey, Eli. Was it Eli? Eli. Yes, sir, Eli, brother, pastor, reverend, Eli. What do you need? He's like, I didn't call you. Okay, maybe I was dreaming. He goes back, gets in the bed. Samuel, Samuel. I just was in there. He gets up out of the bed, goes to Eli and says, I messed up before, but I heard you this time. What is it? What do you need? Like, dude, I didn't call you. Go back to bed. What's wrong with you? He goes back to bed and says, my goodness, man, what in the world? He gets back in the bed. Samuel! And he runs. And he's like, did you call me? Finally, Eli figured out somebody's talking to that little boy. And he said, the next time he calls, say, hey, thy servant heareth. Well, what made this little boy so special? There were little boys everywhere. And we're not told God spoke to any of them. This is going to blow your mind. What do we know about Samuel? Chapter number 2, 1 Samuel chapter number 2. We're going to read one verse number 18. But Samuel, this is before he spoke, but Samuel ministered before the Lord, being a child, girded with a linen ephod. Chapter 3, verse number 1. And the child, Samuel, ministered unto the Lord. What? He ministered to the Lord. I'm going to be honest with you. When it says over there, when Jesus was tempted 40 days, and when he was tempted of the devil and he was out there, he was fasting for 40 days and 40 nights, tempted of the devil and things like that, and the Bible says the angels came and they ministered to him. I thought, well, yeah, they preached to him. Makes sense to me. And if Jesus needs preaching, we need preaching. That ain't got nothing to do with what I'm saying, but just throw that in there. I thought, yeah, of course. He needed ministered to, man. He just went through this trial. He's hungry and what in the world? And I thought, well, wait a minute now. This little child ministered to the Lord. So I just had to look up what ministered means. And the Hebrew word means to attend as a worshiper, to contribute, serve, or wait on. What great thing did this boy do? He was just there worshiping. That's it. He was just there. He was just faithful to be in his place. You know, before his mom prayed for him and said, I'm going to give him back to the Lord. And Samuel said, okay, this is my place. This is where I'm going to worship. And I'm going to be here and I'm going to wait on the Lord. Whatever needs to be done around here, I'm going to do. Anything that needs to be done, anything that needs to be, it doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't have to be big. It doesn't have to be small. Whatever needs to be done right here, right now, I am here and I am going to do it. And the Lord looked at that thing and said, I'm going to make something great out of you. That's all. He would anoint King David. Well, what about David? Let's look in 1 Samuel 16. Just a couple more. It's still early. David. He slew a lion and a bear and a giant. Became king of Israel. Led many victories, won many battles. But way before that, even before the lion and the bear, there had to be something in his life that God looked down and said, that's it. Israel chose Saul. I am choosing that little boy right there. That's who I'm choosing. Nobody else. Samuel went to his dad's house. Went to the house of Jesse. He said, hey, I need all your boys. This is Rick Davis' version. I need all your boys. I'm going to anoint somebody. And he said, all right, let's go, guys. Come on, bring them all up. Ended up lining every one of them up. Samuel looking them over. That ain't him. That ain't him. All the way down the line. He said, are you sure this is it? Yeah, that's it, man. This is all my boys. Which one's it going to be? I'm so proud of them. My goodness. They're so big and strong, and they make a good king. Yeah. Ooh, yeah. King. Which one is it? He said, no, it ain't none of these. Maybe I missed it. And Jesse was like, I mean, I got another one. I just remembered. He ain't around in the house. We'd have to go fetch him. Saying, well, go get him. He's like, he's young. He's a scrawny little old thing. What's he doing? 1 Samuel 16:11 says, and Samuel said unto Jesse, are here all thy children? And he said, there remaineth yet the youngest, and behold, he keepeth the sheep. He said, what did David do that God looked down and said, I'm going to use you, the greatest king. I'm going to use you to be a type of my son. And I'm still going to use you in the future, in the millennial reign. What in the world has he done so great that God looked at him and said, yeah, that's something I can use. He was tending sheep. Walking around the sheep. Carrying a cane. Said, come over here. Meh. Y'all girls come down here and be sheep. No, I'm just kidding. Oh man, I should have told the little ones. Man, y'all be good sheep. I'd whoop the far out of y'all. No. Just tending sheep. In there with all the poop. Getting his hands dirty. Something a king would never do. Something way above the job of a king. But he wasn't too big to say, whatever I'm given to do, I'm just going to do. And I'm going to be out here by the sheep. I'm going to tell you something. A lot of people are too big for God to use in a big way. You think, I want something to get my name in the lights. I want something to get recognition. I want something so I can have a trophy at the end of the day. Hey, I'm telling you something. God's never going to use you. So who's he looking for? Somebody that just tends sheep. A shepherd. You know what the Egyptians thought of shepherds? They thought they were an abomination. Egypt, a top of the world. So what are you doing for Jesus? Just tending sheep, man. Just tending sheep. Just doing whatever God. I ain't worried about nobody else's sheep. I ain't worried about the other flock down the road. I'm just tending these sheep right here. That's all we've done. Look in the book of Mark. Let's look at 2 more and we'll go home. I'm hungry. I've had a pit in my stomach ever since I mentioned Dubai chocolate. How many don't know what Dubai chocolate is? You've never heard of it. God bless them. Now look, you're going to go taste it and be like, God, this is disgusting. And that will just tell us that you need to get saved. This poor woman, she's called a poor widow. That should tell you something right there. Like they ain't much about this woman. But everybody's throwing in their chains. Oh, look what I'm going to give. Look what I'm going to give. Look what I'm going to give. And this woman, I imagine she's just meek and lowly, just walks up there. Look what Jesus said in verse 41. And Jesus sat over against the treasury and beheld how the people cast money into the treasury. And many that were rich cast in much. And there came a certain poor widow. And she threw in 2 mites, which make a farthing. And he called unto him his disciples, and saith unto him, verily I say unto you, that this poor widow hath cast more in than all they which have cast into the treasury. For all they did cast in of their abundance, but she of her want did cast in all that she had, even all her living. You say, come on. You had all the rich people there. They were probably throwing in bags of money. Look at what I'm giving. Look at me. Look how God has blessed me. Look at all this. This woman had 2 mites. Less than 2 pennies. And she took 2 mites and she carried it over there and she threw it in with the rest of them. And Jesus said, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, whoa. Hey guys, I want you to look what that woman just done." You said, what was so important? She just did what she could. You know what our problem is when it comes to wanting to serve the Lord? We try to look at somebody else's ability. Can I just say this? Just because you have ability to do something don't mean you're called to do it. We look at somebody else's ability and say, "Man, I wish I had that." Look at somebody else's talent. "Man, I wish I could do that." Look at how God is using somebody else, and we look at it and think, "Man, if I just had their ability, if I just had their availability, if I just had their talent, if God would have just gifted me something, I could have really used." No. Jesus stopped the whole shooting match and said, "Hey, this woman, she just did what she could." It reminds me, the Bible said she gave it all. How much is a poor widow worth? About 2 mites. She said, that's me. I'm giving you everything I got. Reminds me over there in 2 Samuel, I believe. David goes to the house of Ornan, the Jebusite. And he tells him, he says, "Hey, Ornan, I see your threshing floor here. I want to buy that threshing floor because I got to build me an altar because I got to sacrifice to God." And Ornan says, "Oh, well, you can have my threshing floor." And most of us, that's exactly what we give God, what he asked for. What's wrong with it? Nothing. We just got something here that Ornan says, "You're going to need some instruments with that." I happen to have some over here against the wall over here. Let me grab these up. "Hey guys, get all them instruments over there. Lay them over here on this threshing floor." He said, "Hey, you can have these too." As a matter of fact, you're going to need something to sacrifice if you're going to offer something to God. I got some animals back here in the back. Take your pick. I got your sacrifice. I got your offering right here. He says this. He said, "You want to buy it?" No, the king ain't going to buy nothing for me. He said, "I'm going to give you all this." And he makes this statement. He said, "I give it all." You say, how can God use me? That if he was going to write a Bible today, I could somehow find my way into those pages. Like, how can I do something great? Just say, I ain't much. I ain't the smartest. And I ain't the richest. And I don't have a whole lot of talent. But whatever you want me to do, I am yours. That's it. God don't even want your ability. He don't want the things you can do. He just wants you. God's not like a lot of people that use other people for what they can get out of them. God ain't using you so he can drain you of what he wants and then discard you like a lot of people do. No, God can care less about your ability. He just wants you. He just wants you. A couple chapters over, we found the last one. In chapter 14. Now, what this woman did was prophetic. It was important. It was a great thing that she done. Don't misunderstand what I'm getting ready to say. She anoints the Lord Jesus Christ before he goes to the cross and dies. It is a great thing that she does. But when we look at what she actually did, verse 4 says, chapter 14, Verse 3, and being in Bethany in the house of Simon the leper, and as he sat at meat, there came a woman, we know this is Mary from the other Gospels, having an alabaster box of ointment of spikenard very precious, and she brake the box and poured it on his head. That's it. That's it. It was costly. She had to be preparing for this. I understand that. But the actual act, she had this box of ointment, and she brake the box and poured it on Jesus Christ. And it flowed all the way down. And she began to wash his feet. She didn't tell the world about Jesus. She wasn't a great missionary. She didn't write a lot of books that we still read about. What did she do? She just broke a box. You say, yeah, but no. The problem is you're looking at what happened, what it represented. And you tell yourself, you can't do that. You can't do something great. Everybody here can break a box. This is a box of ointment. It wasn't hard. You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't something physically demanding that she had to get a couple guys over there. So, oh, how are we going to do this? No, she was just a woman who broke a box. You say, how? And there's all kind of people in the Bible like that God looked at and said, I'm going to use you. And we look at them as, man, look what they done. Look what they did for God. Instead of, what did they do before they got picked by God to do something great? And I'm going to tell you something. It ain't a whole lot of, well, it's just a whole lot of little things. That's it. Just a whole lot of little things. See, if you're one of those people and you're saved and you really want to serve the Lord, what can happen is this. We see the big thing and we think, man, I could never do that. And we get so fixated on the big thing and doing something great for God, and I really want to serve Him. And what I've tried my best to show you this morning is God saying, hey, just do this little thing. Can I ask you a question? Is there anything little that you can do? Is there anything that God has already maybe spoke to your heart about and said, yeah, I can do that. God's given me this to do and nobody even knows about it. But I'm going to do it. Because God sees the little things and He makes a big deal out of them. God sees the little things that you do and He says, oh yeah, I can. They've been doing something little for a while nobody knows about. They've not put it on social media. They're not bragging about themselves. They're just doing it because they love me. And I'm going to take that person right here and I'm just going to bless them. As a matter of fact, I think I might give them something else to do. Don't ever think, please get this. Don't ever think what you are doing is so small that God don't care. Don't ever think that. Because God looks down and says, it ain't about what you're doing. It's about who are you doing it for. You start thinking about that. It doesn't matter how small and insignificant we may think, the world may think, what you're doing for the Lord, you just keep doing it knowing God looks down and think, man, they're doing that for me. Little as much when God is in it. Let's all stand. Zach, if you'll come play something. Maybe the Lord spoke to your heart. I'll just give you a chance.